Even an intro, boy.
What's up? What's up? That's amazing. Amazing.
Where is B? I knew it. This chick, bro. Where,
Hi, Mishka.
where's B Sting?
How are you? You look exhausted for a Tuesday. I mean, you just said an
It's
entire
Wednesday,
and
bro. It's Wednesday.
yeah. Yeah,
Where
no.
is B? I knew she's gonna play. Where is this
To
B
me,
chick? Hey?
I just saw that she joined here. I saw that she joined here, but
Where?
no. No, she didn't join.
Yeah, maybe that's your B. Nope, she hasn't joined on the group. Let me type on the group. Oh, I bet you she's gonna say that she doesn't know how to use it. Nishi, you said you wanted Vuyo or Ports or someone fiery.
Hmm?
You said you wanted someone fiery.
No,
What
not
did you say?
necessarily. I said Vuyo and Ports are challenging.
Oh, challenging. Okay. Where is
But I
she?
must admit though, I'm surprised that Ports and I had a lot in common in the last live.
Yes. I'm
No,
actually
it's
surprised.
only,
Surprised.
I'm not surprised at all, actually.
Why?
You're not surprised at all.
I think, yeah,
Ach, you just want to be
I
right all
think,
the time, man.
no, I think Mishka, wait, I'm still waiting for this chick. Mishka,
Mm-hmm.
please talk to her and I can, and like whisper sweet nothings in her ear and stuff and
To who?
to be.
Why must I do that?
Did you guys get along?
I've never spoken to her in my life.
Well, you still get along more than me and her do. Oh, I was saying I'm not surprised that both of you guys get along. I think Mishka, every time that Potso was saying something, the default for Mishka was to not listen to it but to respond vehemently until when you actually explained it, then she was like, "Oh, actually we're on the same page."
Oh, like as in verbally, like face to face when we because I also understand that sometimes when you are just relying on reading words, and then the communication can also be because communication is not just reading, it also has to do with the dialogue at the end of the day. You have to see that the person is serious about what he's talking about. It's not just trolling. That's that's why you
Especially
look
when
at
it's especially when it's a different viewpoint.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think you guys actually, that's why I was saying that a lot of the things you agreed on when she actually listened and not was just so fiery and just waiting to just throw, oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
know what,
Amazing
screw
and
them, oh, I hate them.
That is so not true. That is like
It
a
won't you.
complete wrong analysis of what happened.
Look,
Bruh, go
of
sleep,
course it's
man.
not. You disagreed with all the stuff that I used to say. There she is. There's your bee sting. There's beast. Let us see.
yeah. You guys vote.
Yeah.
There's bee sting. Bee
Hey
sting.
guys!
She's legit
Hi.
still on the street.
I'm off the streets. I'm almost off the streets. I'm on my way home.
Yeah,
I'm on my way home.
I want,
I will be home in a second, but I'm still on the streets. But I'm hearing you guys. I'm hearing everything. Come talk to me. Yeah.
B, we need you to be sitting with your phone charged, with all your thoughts running well, so you don't say some shit that then all of a sudden the next day say, oh no, I didn't hear you correctly because you were driving.
My
I know
thoughts
that's
are here. Everything is here. I'm just waiting on you guys. I'm actually on my way home, so I'll charge properly when I get home. So yeah. But for
Where
now,
are
I'm
you now?
with you.
Where are
Are
you
you
now?
I'm on the road. I'm on the road,
Where?
but I'm
Where?
with you.
Where?
No, can't you see we're all sitting in bright lights? You need lighting as well.
I know, babe, but I will be home in lightning in like a minute. I'm just
Where are you right now?
look at I'm in sleep. But I'll be home in like 5 minutes.
Free
You
State.
first
Are you
said
in
a
Free State?
second, then you said a minute, and then you said 5 minutes.
I'm leaving the streets now and I'm going home. So
B, you closer to me in Jufair than you are to Busati.
oh wait. Let me do this. As you guys can see me, I'm not even holding the phone. Someone else is holding the phone. So
There we go.
I'll be home.
What did I tell you about excuses?
Let's talk. I'm here and I'm listening. Let's talk. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone. I'm safe. I'm on the road, but I'm safe. But yeah, I'm not holding the phone. Someone else is holding the phone for me. So yeah, let's talk. What's up?
Ah, fucking hell. Okay. So, any chance you get to piss me off, like every fucking chance.
I'm sorry, but it is what it is. What can you say? And I have my lights on right now. I'm driving with my lights on, which is not even allowed. So that's just it is. It's not
You
even
shouldn't
allowed.
be on the road
But
to begin with.
I'll be home in 10 minutes, guys. Chill. Talk to me. I'm hearing everything you're saying.
It just gets longer and longer.
You're closer to me in Jufair than you are to Busati. She's legit right around the corner, and she's driving towards the airport.
And now she doesn't have signal.
Jesus Christ. You see what I mean, bro?
Yeah, no, I see exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I should have told you before that B is actually a troll.
So is that what she was doing on Monday?
No, she is a troll.
On Tuesday,
That's what
is that what
she
Tuesday?
that's her job description.
Oh, okay. But I could see. That's why I don't want to get trapped in that hole. I was like, I'm not going in there.
Exactly.
I'm like,
I wanted to tell you that, look, it's a job this. So
I was like, I'm not going in.
I remember reading that message, and I was halfway through typing, and then you texted. I was like, no. This is it. And then I deleted it, and I said, no, leave it. Don't even try to get in there.
I realized after I'm normal. No, you know what? Today, I'm not gonna do this. But when you have that thing, okay, matter why does this person say this? But then you are like, okay, fine. No, it's fine. I can deal with that. Because I was driving actually at the time where I was like,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah, but then She really got me that. Yeah.
You'll see now. Even today, like at like 4 o'clock, she's like, "Hey, I don't
Yeah.
think I'm gonna." And I was like, "Don't you fucking dare!
Yeah.
Don't you dare!" He's like, "Yeah, but it's my day off," and I was like, "You knew that it was gonna be your day off." He's
No,
like, "Yeah,
she
but I'm
knew.
drinking." I was like, "You knew this."
It was just a provocation to make sure that she gets the men agitated. And then she ruins the entire Monday. And then from there, she does not have to deal with the aftermath.
I wouldn't be surprised now if she doesn't come back.
Yeah,
She make up
yeah,
some
no.
bullshit.
Yeah, but yeah, hey,
Yeah. I don't know what you guys want to do. You want to wait for the 10 minutes?
no, we can. She'll join it.
But this is the thing. I want her from the beginning. I don't want any misunderstanding.
Oh, okay,
I don't
okay.
want any nothing. I
Then it's
actually want
fine.
her
Then
to
it's
start it
fine.
off even. I want her to explain everything. Because a part of
Yes,
me
she must
feels like,
explain. Yeah,
yes. 'Cause
she must
a part
explain
of me feels
everything
like
that
I'm
she
the
was
problem.
doing. Yeah,
A part of me feels like I'm the problem because I don't listen to her. So I want to explain everything from every topic that we discussed, her viewpoint, and then we'll take it from there. And then to understand if she's doing her job by trolling or she's actually being
yes,
serious.
yes. Okay, well, that's fine.
Because like I said, Mishka was also trolling for a bit there. She was also trying to be part of the troll. And then afterwards she couldn't take it anymore as well.
She saw exactly what I saw, that icon. I know. I can't take this for a Tuesday. For a Monday, but it was like a Monday. I was like, no, not this. No, but then she really got me then. She really did. I was like, look,
I
I've never,
won't lie. I won't lie. Like the hard work that B puts in all that stuff is
yeah.
it's exactly why she would be a CEO. Exactly why. She puts in that hard work for you. Like all that tough work. You know how tough it is to try to be a troll every day. And she never faltered. Never faltered.
You know, there's this other video that I once tagged you on of a guy. Apparently, it's like a BBC series or something, of a guy who agitates people and then trolls people for a living. It's like, I think, when was it? I think it was last week when I tagged you on that post.
Yeah.
It's for some madala, and then he intentionally gets people angry, and then he says that whenever they call him, whenever they start insulting him, he knows that yes, it's actually got them.
Yes, yes. Oh, when he's doing it online, when he goes and meets them at the pub. When he goes and meets them at the pub, and it's a gremlin.
Yes. And then so I thought of it when you said that she's a troll. I thought, okay, she's one of them. Yeah.
No, yeah. Sometimes I don't know. I don't know where the angle she comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. And Mo as well. She tries to troll a few times.
I don't always troll even on Facebook.
But she only trolls when there's friends around. When you have a one-on-one, then there's no trolling.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When you have had a call and then she does not. She does not. She only trolls when there's a bystander.
She's the type that'll tell everyone to go vote and vote for someone else, and then she will go and vote for the opposite.
Exactly what happened to the EFF. Exactly. Like the typical campaign, typical EFF voter. Exactly what happened.
Exactly. I love you as a friend for voter, but not enough vote for you.
Yeah, but then But then it's very sad. What happened to the EFF is very sad, actually. It's very, very sad.
What happened to them?
You know, the problem with the EFF is that it is supported massively by the youth. You understand? But then the same youth, they're actually the one group of people who actually don't like to vote, who actually don't even like going there to vote. So now, in a situation whereby they will get like on those Twitter polls or whatever. I think if Instagram has them, I hope you also know them as well. Those polls, you know, those polls that they will randomly run, and then whereby they just want, So they always get A's on that. They always get like 75%, 75% above. If it does not happen, it's like monopoly money. They collect, and then when it's time to cash in, then they can't cash in anything. So that's exactly what happened. And it's going to continue to happen until they actually realize that the people that actually vote are not the youth, and then in fact, let me say, are not the black youth, because the black youth does not like to vote. Because if you go to other societies, for example, other societies, find that voting is like people are aware of their right to vote, and then that is also one of the main things that one can do in order to be an active participating citizen. So that's exactly what happened there. Probably because they actually have a pool of a lot of people, because it's the youth at the end of the day. EFF is fashionable at the moment. But the problem is that the youth does not want to vote. That is the problem. Not even that they don't want, they're just lazy to vote. If voting was done online or the Twitter voting was like legit, and then probably maybe they would even get lots and lots of votes. You see,
but even then, it's probably also because the youth also know that they don't know the full story. They know that it's like being blind to what you're blind of thing. Where if you ask someone how would you solve the ESCOM issue, right? They can have it on the top of their head. Oh, no, I can pay this one, and I can drop this, and I can put coal there, then I can put a thingy there and put that there. But then as soon as you ask them, okay, well then if you know how to, then would you then be able to actually be the boss of, the CEO of ESCOM? Then it's like, oh no, actually no, I wouldn't be able to do that. And you ask them why? Like, I mean, if you have the solution, why would you not? And then what happens is in your mind is that then you start to unravel that, oh, actually, it's more complicated than that. Being the boss of it means I have to take responsibility. I need to now have workers here, have workers there. And I'm actually not as confident in my plan as I thought, because if it failed, then I'll fail everyone else. So then if you ask them, would you take the job? They would say no. But if you ask them the solution, then they say yes. So it's the same thing with like those voters. It's like, well, would you vote for the EFF? Yeah, I think everything that they're doing is perfect. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'll go and burn some shit too. It's like, okay, so then why don't you go and vote? Then it's like, oh yeah, actually, you know what? And I know deep down there's a lot of webs and there's a lot of things that are connected here. And I know that I don't know those things that are connected. And those things might actually be the reason why the EFF or whatever party it is not getting the votes that they're getting.
Exactly.
So if I don't know them, I know I don't know them. But then I can always just complain and then say, well, I'm just going to vote for the ANC or the DA. You can just say that. Exactly. And then no one's going to question it. But as soon as I'm in power, then I can be like, oh, no, well, this person that's also in power probably also knows the solutions. So why is he not implementing it? Clearly, there's something more to this. And then therefore that means that I don't know that. And then it's difficult for them to vote or to do anything for that matter.
Yeah. No, what you are saying, it's exactly. I think that's actually the most accurate way of explaining it, because at the end of the day, it's like with cars, for example. If they make a new car and then they say, okay, here is a GWM bucket. It can do everything that the other bucket can do. But then you know that you have seen Toyota doing the very same things that this one said for over 60 years, doing them without fail. And then even if it was failing, and then they say, oh, okay, this one can actually solve the problems that Toyota was having. You are still going to have a problem. You are still going to be fearful because you don't know what you don't know, and then that's it. You see, so it's actually, I think that is actually the accurate representation of what you just said, about the EFF, because it also takes, I think also one thing that we have to understand is that as much as it grew as a brand, it grew fast, it grew quickly. But then it also takes a long time for a brand to actually be at a point whereby people can actually identify with it and then truly trust that it can actually. So it's not like, for example, even with the Toyota, for example, it's not like it came yesterday. I mean, look at Hyundai now. It's gaining more customers, gaining more people that trust it. But then what you see at Hyundai and then now, and then the way you were looking at the very same Hyundai in let's say 2009 or 2003, it was a totally different brand. And then it was not a brand that you could trust that much. But then I think also the EFF also have to humble themselves and understand that can also be their fate. They just need to be a little bit patient.
That's one of those with playing fish, right? I mean, playing the tank. Okay. Hey, look, we just started. I got money for you. It's coming.
B.
Where's B? D? I told her that she should actually collect a few, and then I see that she has not collected a few. She has not collected a few marbles. Okay.
But yeah, man, going back just to end off there with the point that you made. I mean, all the parties, again, it's the same with all the movements even. You know, a lot of people. I think also when a party or a movement grows so quickly, that's when you kind of, even the people in the movement kind of get shell shocked, and their alarm bells go off, because the first thing you think of is, well, look, we've been going against other parties or other movements the whole time. They haven't grown as quickly as we have. So clearly there's something that's there that's hindering them. So what makes us think that we're more special than them? Yeah. Well,
yes.
And then that's when the doubt comes in. Because when it grows too quickly, you think, oh, come on, there's something wrong here. It's like even with a plant, for example. If you put your plant down, you know how long a plant takes. Then all of a sudden a week comes in and your plant is a tree. Then you think, no, something's wrong with the soil. Even though you wanted the tree, you're thinking something had to have happened here. And then you start looking for all the things that are problems, and you start not trusting it. As much as you want it to grow quickly, you still want it to grow quickly relative to other things. And then that's the problem with all these parties, even with the DA, even with the ANC, even with all these parties, EFF. When it grows too quickly, that's when you think something is under. You do that with drugs. You know, if you take a medication and it makes your muscles grow too quickly, something's wrong. Something else is compensating. Yeah, these are steroids. It's something else is going to be compensating for this to happen, because you know the natural process, and you can't. At least you can't go against the natural process, because no one else decided the natural process besides nature. So there's that as well. And again, it's like that's why people like that, when it comes to voting, it's like you will talk nicely here. It's the same thing that happened in America. We talk nicely here, and then boom, we go and vote for Trump, because
this really reminds me of those funny posters, the funny adverts that they would put in the electrical, in the DB boards around the city, and then in the corner of getting where they will be selling where they will be saying that you can grow hips, you can grow your hips very very quickly if you want to grow your hips.
Yeah.
You can grow this and that, and then you can what again secure your marriage in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's just those things that actually make things look like they are scams. So that's why I'm saying that we need to slow down a little bit and then try to find consistent, because also they're also trying to throw in a lot of new ideas that might not even be necessary. I mean it's like remember when they used to make those when the Chinese used to make those phones that used to have TVs, and then they used to have radios, and then do you remember the ones that had big screens, and then you were like, oh man, that's too much. That's too much for them.
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Please, yeah. B must tell us a story.
I'm sorry, guys. What are we talking about? Sorry, I'm a bit late.
So this is a reunion of the whole group. Well, not part of the group. So so for once we're able to all gather and actually speak about all the things that we've been typing and voice noting for what, the past year, 2 years? How long has that group been going on for?
A while. Okay, what are we talking about right now?
Oh, so I was telling the guys that by profession that you're a troll. So they shouldn't take anything you say.
I could pick that up. Actually, I could pick that up on Monday. When was it? Tuesday. I understood. This one can be right.
And I am a troll. How am I a troll though? Because I always say the right things. Like,
I was telling them that was your job description, and you have to do and say.
Back me up, please.
And Ungasi used to work at the same company until they retrained after COVID. So she then had to leave the group because she agreed with everything else that we were saying.
No, because everything else I was saying was right. Anyways, what are we on about right now? What are we talking about?
No.
What are you guys saying?
We need the one conversation that we always fight about is this gender pay gap. We need to start there.
Yeah.
So we'll do all these gender things, and then from there we'll go into the mother and father and deadbeat and all that situation. That the other stuff that you like to troll them. But this time I've actually made a conscious decision to actually listen.
I don't think you guys have experienced this gender pay gap thing. So I honestly do not think you would say anything that's worth listening to, because you've never experienced it. Some of us have experienced this, and we know it is there. For you guys, you might say, no, gender pay gap is just a thing. You know why? Because you just hear about it on VideoTube or whatever. You've never experienced it. For me, I have. I know there is a gender pay gap because I've seen it. I've seen it. This happens.
Firstly, just wait. Before we even continue, is there anything that you would possibly say on this live today that you were going to change your mind tomorrow and say that because you drove too long, or because you're drunk, or because you're high? You need to make sure, bro. No?
I'm not drunk and I'm not high, and I'm willing to listen to anything, but
not agree. Okay. Maybe we haven't experienced the gender pay gap because it doesn't exist.
It does exist because you guys are men. Can you not understand this though? Because you guys are men and I'm a woman. I've experienced it. You will not experience it because you are men. When you go to your job for one, you got there and already automatically they're like, oh, we're looking forward to taking you. But then me as a woman, if I go to a job and I apply for a job, they think twice before they can even consider me. They'll be like, let's first think, is she even strong enough to do this? Or is she even smart enough to do this? But for you guys, none of those thoughts come up.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. So does that also apply if the company, the organization is owned by a woman and then also has the majority of women? Does the reverse apply?
It does apply, because chances are it's most probably that HR is not a woman, it's a man, or it does apply. Unless the HR is a woman, and a woman who's thinking the same as a woman who's experienced the same thing, it does apply. Honestly, it does apply.
Let me just wait. So for me, right, I work in a female-dominated field, right? Okay. So in the female-dominated field, they always pick females first, right?
Oh, for example, which female-dominated field? What are we talking about right now? An example.
In health.
Nursing or something else. Nursing. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Look, so they always pick females first because females can at least see male patients and female patients, whereas a male can only see male patients. If there's female patients and they're covered, they don't feel comfortable with being male, right? So it's always beneficial for the company to have a female instead of a male, right?
Mm.
So, I know myself. Okay,
just wait. So when you're talking about this gender pay gap thing, right, or gender whatever it is, that means that then the females are more at an advantage than I am, right? So this gender pay gap thing that you're talking about is actually what? Is it for males or for females? Because I mean, when people are gonna get kicked off, which actually
it is for females. It is for females. For sure, it is for females. If a male comes into a male comes into a female, into a female gender, how do I put it? They will be paid the same as female. Chances are they will be paid as the same amount as how much the females are paid. Because we all know you can do the job, you can do the same job as the females can do, so you'll get this much amount. But the gender pay gap comes into when I come into, for example, in a CEO position, APSA CEO position. They will first look at me, you're a female, and the person who's been occupying
let me finish So you first said that you don't know if we've been through that. So what I'm telling you now is that I work in a female-dominated field, right? So a female is more beneficial to have as a person, as an employee than a male, right? Because a female can see much more people, and the male can't, which means there'll be more revenue if you're a female than a male, right? So therefore, that means that if a female, right, sees more people, they will then get paid more than the male that will see less people, right? And if there's going to be a job cut,
the question is, does that even happen? Does it happen?
I'm telling you, it happened now. It's going to still happen.
Okay.
I'm the only male in the whole field. I'm the only male in my whole department. But look. So I'm the only male in my whole department.
Okay, but you know that's not what she means.
Yeah, but look, I'm getting
with stats. She's talking about a female entering a male-dominated field.
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
Look, exactly. I know what she's talking about.
The work doesn't depend on the gender. So if I'm coming in as an accountant, I'm a female, and I've got a colleague who's doing the same work as me, be in the same team, and he's a male. Then there's a gap in the pay. That's what she's talking about. You can't use your example because that you're working on how many patients, like it's commission or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So if that person sees 10 patients and you only see 5, obviously they're going to get paid more.
Yeah, but look, yeah, so look. So wait,
Okay.
the first point was what I'm getting at was she first said that we haven't been in a situation like that. And I'm telling her that we have, right? I have been in a situation like that where females get paid more than the males, regardless of whether they're seeing more patients or not. But the fact that they're able to means that for the business, they are more likely to employ more females. If they're more likely to employ more females, they will then pay them more than the males, right? That's not a gender thing. It's got nothing to do with just only the gender. It's not like they're discriminating against me. I know that it's better. If I were to employ people, I would employ females because then I can see males and females. And there's more of a probability that my business will then run longer than anything else, regardless of whether the male is a better physician or not. It doesn't matter. It's not about whether they're better or not. I can always hire a male at the end when the female has done most of the work.
Okay, wait. So are you saying these females in this scenario that you put in right now, are you saying the females are getting more because they're females or because they're doing more or because they know more? What are you saying?
Okay, from what I understand, he's saying that in his industry, which is the health industry, the females, they tend to actually have a potential, we can call it a potential, but then they actually are able to see a variety of other, or let's say more people. Meaning that if each person is paying 200 rand, if each person is paying 200 rand and then it's 3 men and then 2 women, it's three women and then 2 men. That means if he is putting a shift on that day, then he's gonna get what? He's gonna get 1,000. He's going to be able to. The company is going to be able to bill 1,000 there because she's a female. She can see both genders. But then 4 men, they can only make what he can only. The other 2, which is the three females, they can say no. We don't want a man to be the one examining us. That means that because he's a man, he cannot, for the revenue that the company is going to bill for that day, that the company is going to generate that day, can only be 400 rand. So it can happen that on the next day they get all females or all males. But then the fact that wait a minute. The fact that they've got someone who has the ability, and then the customers are comfortable with seeing that person more than the other one, then that person should actually get paid more because he can actually generate more revenue for the company. In the similar way,
the skill is the same.
Yes,
but
the skill is the same.
Okay, wait. But that is not a gender pay gap. That is being paid based on what you are doing. Based on how much you are demanded. That is not a gender pay gap. That is you being paid based on how much you are being demanded or how much you're working. This is totally different though.
What is the gender pay gap then?
A gender pay gap is me and you, for example, me, B, and Buto we apply for the same job. We get the same job, but then Buto is being paid more because he's a man and B is paid less because she's a woman. And wait. And I will tell you, and then they will make an excuse out of it and be like, Buto is a man. She's got a family to feed. And then they will say, B, you are a woman. As if I do not have a family to feed. That is a gender pay gap. You paid more because you're just a male. Just because you're a male. And I'm not a male, I will be paid less. That is what a gender pay gap is for. But what Lukelu is saying, when he's saying that, because there's more customers coming for you, that's no longer a pay gap. That's no longer a gender pay gap. That is a gap whereby I am getting more customers than you as a male. This is an environment whereby it needs more females, and all the females prefer me over you because I'm a female and you are a male. They do not want you as much. So we cannot compare that. We cannot say that is a gender pay gap. That's something totally different.
Okay, would you say the same thing about a female soccer player who plays on a World Cup and the male soccer player who plays on the World Cup, on a World Cup match?
They have to be in
If
the same team.
Or they have to be in the same team?
Yeah.
if they're on the
Meaning
same team,
meaning that they have to be in a let's say in one team. There has to be females and males in one team, and then that's what will actually contribute. That's the only basis that we can use to say this is a gender pay gap and what. So
we
meaning
can
that
say in that scenario, if the case is there's more males watching because there's more male players.
males don't watch. Okay, males don't
Listen,
watch.
if in that scenario, it would be a matter of the males will be watching males will be watching because there is a female, not because it's soccer. It's not because it's soccer now. It will depend whether males are watching. Is it because it's just football or is it males that are playing or is it females that are playing? That's a bit much though. It would kind of like depend on the viewers on what they want to watch.
Wait, so the answer to that question is that everything is the same except the gender.
There's like 5 goalposts, and then you don't even know where to shoot now. Because now I want to understand something. Or okay, let's understand. Let's because I just wanna get your full understanding of this first. And then now you are saying that they have to be on the same team, and then it won't work. So now, can I ask you a question? Okay, I'm a contractor. I think if I were to find a group of women who say that, you know what, if I were to find a group of women, or if I had the ability to actually get women who can do what my men do, and then pay them less, even if it's 20% less, I would fire all these guys. I'd make sure that I don't even want to see them again, because it's more profits for me. It's more profit for me. I can get women who can do exactly the same job as my guys do, and then because there's gender pay gap, then I can just decide not to pay them. But then why isn't it the case? Why don't we have such cases whereby men are getting fired? Because fella, that means that will actually mean that women are very attractive.
Okay, wait. Can I just say this? I'm in the aviation industry, and as a black woman, and there's very few of us.
Before you put that,
let's use gender. Don't do that.
You're coupling here already.
Don't come to the race issue after.
I'm not okay. Let me not talk about the race issue, but let me just talk about the gender issue. And I am a woman. The company I worked for, one guy, we do the same thing. We do the exact same thing. Okay, maybe he might have been there more than me, but I realized that he was getting
difference. That's a big difference.
No, it is not a big difference. It is not a big difference.
More than you. Why would he be brainless?
We work the same amount of time.
So he does not do overtime.
An oldest staff member.
4.
And
we
then
both work from 8 to 4, and he is getting way more than I do. Way more than I do.
He has more experience than you.
Not even that much experience. Not even.
You have more experience than you.
Okay, because you know what, Lou. What I want to say, Lou, to Lou, and also to Mishka, and then you, Pete, is that we really like to say that we want to be victims. We want to say this is wrong. Even as a black person, we want to say that we are being paid less because we are black people, and then we are being paid less because we are women, and then we can narrow down that. I can say I'm getting paid less because I'm not Sotho, or I'm not Zulu, and what. We can all. The question is, are these things wrong, first of all? And then if we say we are wrong, on what ground do we say these things are wrong? Because, for example, if let's say you are, let's say you are complaining, for example, that you work the same company, you work for the same company, and then you are doing the same thing, and then but then the other one is earning more money, and then you are earning less, but then you do the same job. Let us say that now the company had a time, the company was at a point whereby it's now closing and it wants to resize and then cut off some employees. If you are cheaper, if your services are cheaper, it would make sense for the company to retain you. If your services and your production, if what you produce, your services for if what you produce is more, and then you produce that at a smaller price, it would make sense for the company to say, you know what, this guy is more expensive, and then this guy is more expensive.
So are you saying my price would be maybe much cheaper because this is what I negotiated for, this is what I said I wanted, or this is what I accepted?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily that. But yeah, but then that one right now we're just focused on gender and productivity, and then also your salary. If we actually come to the salary, there's actually a lot that goes into getting into paying someone, into determining the rate at which someone has to be paid. And the first thing, it will also have to be for example, there's education, there's experience, does the person fit into the company as the person, there's a lot that goes there, that goes into coming up with the salary. And also the market decides as well. The market you cannot say that you want to be paid 5 times more than what the market is being paid, because they can get, if you say, let's say the salary is 20,000 and the market salary
I get this for sure. The market decides, but let me not go to a job interview. You go to the job interview and then you are given a different salary scale than I am given.
But then why is that different? Why is that?
This is what's happening right now. I will go to a job interview and they will offer you 10,000 whilst I'm offered 5,000 just because I'm a woman, and just because they feel like I'm not. Just because they feel like I am not. Maybe I don't know whether I'm not smart enough or I'm not capable enough. Let me just use capable. I'm not capable enough to do the same job as much as you do. They feel like you will do the job way much better than I can. And that's not right. This is what I'm fighting against. This is not right.
Have you worked in a job where you work with other females in the same position?
Unfortunately, I've always worked with male. In most cases, I've always been the one female in everything that I do.
Okay, and you've always been paid less than all the males.
I've always been paid less, not always, but in most cases that I know, I've always been paid less than most males that I work with. Like,
okay,
I've always been the one female in that company who's doing the same job. Like technician, mechanical, or engineer, I've always been the one female and always been paid less. And we all doing the same job.
You've been paid less than most of the males, right?
Most of the males.
Okay, so the guys that you've been paid less than some of the guys. You've been paid more than some of the other guys, right?
Maybe apprentices, like lower guys, obviously, like the obvious lower guys. Listen, this is what I'm saying.
My first question was
than the guys on the same level as me, but the guys.
So look, you've always been paid less, right, than all the guys that are doing the same job as you.
Yes. Even though I'm doing the job better than them. I'm doing the job way better than them. I'll be knowing the job, teaching them the job, but still getting paid less.
Okay, wait. and then all the guys that are being paid more than you, right? Have they all been paid the same?
I don't know. I don't know this.
Wow.
I do not care about this though. I do not care about this. All I care about is are the people that are doing the same job as me being paid the same amount as me? Are we all is it fair for us? Are we all getting the same amount of money or not? And I've realized that
You can't say you don't
not
care
true.
about that. You can't say you
But then
don't care about the actual debate.
Sorry.
If those guys are being paid less,
Let one person speak because you guys are
if those guys are being paid, if those guys are not being paid the same as well, right? Is it then the guys that get paid less? Is it because they're male?
Honestly, I do not know, and I don't care about that. All I care about is that I am female and I'm getting paid less than most guys.
He is here to troll us. No, because people are saying that the guys that are on your level are paid more than you are paid.
Yes.
But then, how many guys are those? Because it looks like you only know one. Because if you knew most of them, you were going to say, Rocky, even they are also paid the same amount of money, and then only yours is actually a little lower because you are a woman. But then they are paid the same amount of money. But then you say you don't care about the other facts. The other facts don't matter to you. But then now, how do you come to the conclusion if you're going to ignore the facts, that the other facts? I mean, I can also decide that I'm paid less than everyone that I want, that I'm paid less than. I mean,
I don't care about everyone that paid less than me.
Okay, guys, no, I think we need to move on to another topic because
you're trolling. I told you that.
Mishka, what have you experienced in your field? How is it like in your field? Are you guys getting paid the same whether you are male or female? Have you noticed anything that's different?
Nope.
You guys are getting paid the same, or you never ask? Maybe there is a difference, but you just never ask.
Well, previously when I worked with the state, we were getting paid the same, and now I make my own rates. So
Is it? Okay. No, maybe in your field it's even better. Maybe I should move to your field because in my field.
We're the same field.
You know what? Maybe it's a matter of I don't know. Because the field that I'm in is mostly dominated by white people. I don't know. Maybe it is this. Maybe now it is a racial. I don't know. Maybe now it is a racial issue. Maybe it is a racial issue, or maybe it is not. I don't know. But
so this is
one time I asked one of the guys that I work with. I asked him like we were just talking about this, and I realized how much he was getting. He was shocked to realize that I was getting so much less. I was like, oh my gosh, are you really getting this much? And I was like, oh, well, because I have a family and I have a wife, and this is how these companies think. They kind of like first have to see whether you have a family that you have to feed or you have kids that you have to feed. But how does that even matter? Because we both doing the same job. At the end of the day, we're doing the same job and we're producing the same results. Why does it matter that you have to get this much and I have to get this much? It is not fair.
Okay, look. Here's two things Here's two things, right? So, we're working in a Muslim country, right?
Yeah.
Okay? So all expatriates, all people that are working outside or coming from a different country, coming into this Muslim country, right?
Yeah.
Get paid more than the Muslim people here.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Okay. So what's that? What pay gap is that?
No, Lungelo, this is not it. This is totally different. This is a different scenario. Don't put this No. We are talking about, no, this is not it.
Because,
I'm asking you what pay gap.
Okay, no, this is not it.
This is
because
let me tell
you. I've worked in UAE. Wait, I've worked in UAE for like more than 5 years, And in UAE, it doesn't matter whether you are a woman or a female. It's a matter of your passport. Then, so we cannot compare
So what pay
the
gap is
rest of
that?
the world from what we're talking about right now, because it's
So
a
what
matter of
pay
a
gap
passport.
is that?
If you've got a South African passport, you kind of like with the US guys, the UK guys, the UK guys will get paid more. It's a matter of a passport. And then we all know the Filipino guys will get paid way less. The Indian guys will get even paid way lesser. And then the North African guys
the
will
same
get
job.
paid way
Same-
lesser. So this is way different. We cannot
For
compare
the
that.
same job.
South Africans
For the
up
same
there
job.
with the Americans and the UK guys. That's
Is
how
it
much they get
For the
paid.
same job. For the same job.
For the same job, for the
So that's
no. Okay, but this is different. In the
That's a nationality
in
figure.
the middle, no, let me tell you, in the Middle East, they will not employ a South African person for a cleaning job. For one,
listen.
a
That's a
South African
nationality pay
person
gap.
will not even get a visa for a cleaning
Wait,
job because
wait,
this is
so
not.
then-
Yeah, it's a matter of a visa. Which country are you from? For
Okay, so can
this
I-
country,
can-
you get jobs for this certain type of
Okay, look,
job.
so then can Filipino Indian people say that this is a nationality pay gap? That they're doing the
No,
same
for
job?
Filipino and Indians, for them, their visas
Is it-
qualify for certain jobs to get such a
So-
lower
No,
get such
look.
a lower amount of a pay, but we do not. Okay, for example,
But
as
look.
South Africans, we
Look,
do
look,
not.
look,
We
look.
cannot compare
So
ourselves
look.
with the Filipinos and Indians.
Look, so I work mainly with Indian and Filipino people, right?
Yeah,
Okay, they get paid less, right?
for sure.
So they get for the same job.
Yeah.
Okay? So can they complain that it's a nationality pay gap?
No, it is not.
What is
You
it?
just said it depends on the visa. What pay gap
It
is it?
Like what I just explained. It is not. It is not. We cannot say it's not a matter of a gender. It's not like it would
No,
be a
I never said
gender.
it's a gender.
Listen to me.
Leave the word gender now.
It
Leave
would be
gender.
a gender pay gap if it would be a gender pay gap if Filipino males got more money than anyone else. If
Okay, what I'm saying
Indian
is-
males got more money than anyone else. But
Okay,
now
leave
this is
gender.
not the
Leave
case.
the word gender for a bit. I know it's difficult. Leave the word gender for a bit. Now
Yeah.
I'm just talking about nationality, right? You just told me now that certain nationalities get paid less
It
than
is,
other nationalities.
Out here,
So
it's
the
a matter
national-
of nationality. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So is that then a nationality pay gap?
It is a nationality pay gap. It's now it's up to you if you want to fight it or not, but it is a nationality pay gap. And then
Okay,
nationality pay gap,
and then if you're more experienced than someone else in the same job,
it
then
does
it's an
not
experience
matter.
pay gap.
It does not matter. Here, if you are Indian and you're more experienced than a South African guy, a South African
No,
guy
no,
will
no.
always get more money than you, or an American guy will always get more money
No,
than you.
look,
Whether
leave
you've got
the
more experience.
nationalities now. Yeah, wait, leave the nationalities now. I'm saying everything else is the same. But
Everything else is the same.
Yeah, and now you in the same job have more experience than someone else, right? Do
Yeah.
you expect to then get paid more because of your experience?
Go away. I'm busy. Sorry, Gold, the music is too loud. I can't hear. Maybe you can bring me a drink. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Let me
Sorry,
repeat the
what's your
question.
question?
Okay,
Yeah.
so look, so if everything else is the same, right? Okay, and someone else has more experience than you in the same job, right?
Yeah.
Do
Out
you expect
here?
them to
Out here or elsewhere?
Anywhere. So, like, if you were working with another female that's from South Africa doing the same job in the same place, everything's the same. Besides the fact that you have more experience. I want to say you have more experience because then you're not the victim, and I know you like being the victim. So, if you have more experience, if you have more experience than that person, and they don't, right? Do you expect to get paid more for that than that person?
I expect to be paid more than them, obviously.
So that's
Because I
an
have
experience pay
experience.
gap.
It is not a pay gap.
It's an experience pay gap. Only
Listen,
getting
no, you are missing this though. You are missing this. If I have more experience, if I'm being paid more because of my experience, that's not a pay gap. If I'm being paid more because of
But look, you just told me now.
because of what I'm bringing to the table, that is not a pay gap.
Look,
But if
you just told
you
me
and
now.
me have the same, listen, if me and you have the same experience, I'm female,
Yes,
you're
yes.
male, we have the same experience,
No.
Look, this is the nice thing
and we
about
are
it, right?
producing the same results, then that is
Look,
the gender pay gap.
Look, all I had to do was switch you from being the victim to being the oppressor, and everything
And then-
changed. You just told
So
me now. You just
so
told me
now,
now that
take her back to the victim now. Okay.
yeah. You just told me now that you were working the same job with other people, right? And they had a bit more experience than you, and you were being paid less, but you were complaining, right? Now, when we turn it around and we say, okay, well, how about you're the one that gets paid more and you have more experience, then you say, no, then it's not a pay gap. Then that means that I should be getting the money. It just have to change. You being an oppressor.
Okay, wait. Okay, can we just clear one thing out? Puzo, this comes to you. We were talking in the group about females. There was an article or something about female. It was a video about this guy talking about how South Africa has got less, or has got single families or something like that. Like,
Yes.
yeah, fatherless families or something like that.
Oh.
And you said, and I said, it's up to men to solve this. But then you were like, it is up to women as well. This is what I want to find out from you. How is it up to women when men are the one who? I actually feel like men are the ones who've got. It's up to men, basically.
Okay, let me ask the question that I asked. The question that I asked. I asked you if you said that it is up to men. So I asked you, are you saying that women have no responsibility over this? That's the question that I asked. Or are you saying that women are they have no responsibility? They have no responsibility at all over this. And then you said what? You said yes. This is entirely. This is entirely a responsibility that the men should take, and then women should take no responsibility.
Okay, tell me this though. What is the responsibility?
To make sure that maybe you did not miss anything. I asked again, and then you said yes. I maintain the fact that it is not the women play no role in this. This is entirely a man's responsibility, right?
It is. I'm still saying this. It is. What more can women do? Women in South Africa right now, especially in South Africa, are doing so much. What more can women do? You know what baffles me is that, what shocks me is that men in South Africa do not want to take any responsibility for anything. It's like, based on the topics that we've discussed you guys never want, there's not even one topic that you guys would say, okay, this is us. This is a man's responsibility. This is just ours. You guys are not there. It's like in everything that we say, it's always like, no, it's a woman. A woman is responsible for this. Oh, it's both of us. What is it that you guys are responsible for? And before you even answer that, answer me this. In this situation, in a matter of, there's so many single families in South Africa, what are women responsible for? What is it that we can do as women to change the whole situation other than men? You know, what is it that we women can do? We already know that you guys can do something. You guys can do something by saying, the baby, let's get married. Let's have a family together. Let's get married. Baby, I will not get you pregnant and then leave you struggling by yourself. I will take responsibility for my actions. I will take responsibility for my, for my seeds, the seeds that I've put out there. I will take responsibility for it. But you guys are running away from this. Besides that, what is it that us women can do? I meet you, Puto, as you are, and I'm thinking, this is such a nice guy. He might be a potential. He might be good for my kids. Let me do something with him. Let me make babies with him. And I make babies with you, and the next thing you do is run away. What is it that I can do to prevent that? Tell me.
What if I'm a criminal?
That's your question out the water, bro.
Wait. What if I'm a criminal? What if I'm a criminal, a career criminal, and you want to have kids with me? So what does that? How do you?
What if you're what?
Yeah. What if you think I'm a nice guy, but I'm a career criminal, and then you want to have kids with me?
Career criminal does not matter, honey. So long as you support your kids. This is what we're talking about right now. We're talking about family. We're talking about kids. You can be a career criminal as much as you want, but so long as you're supporting so long as you're supporting your wife, so long as you're supporting your kids, I'm all for it. I don't care what criminal you are. But the right thing that we're talking about right now is you being there for your family, knowing what family is, knowing what it is to take care of your kids. Oh,
what if you're a serial killer? What if you're a serial killer?
No, wait a minute. What if I get arrested 2 weeks after our wedding?
It's okay, so long as you support the kids after.
How am I going to support the kids if I'm in jail and unemployed?
No, but this is besides the point, though. This is besides the point. This is besides the point. Shit like that happens. You might get arrested, and your intentions were to support the family. Your intentions might have been to support the family, support your kids, take care of your wife, and take care of everything. But then shit happens. But now we're talking about the people who just disappear. We're talking about the people who make women pregnant. Do you know why we have so many
let Miska speak. Let Miska speak for a bit. Just let Miska speak.
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
let Miska speak.
Okay. You know what? You're asking a very, very important question, even though we might have joked about it, but then it's a very, very important question. Okay, what can women do on this issue? The first thing that both men and women have to decide is that what results do they want? What kind of a society do they want?
Exactly.
And then the kind of society that we want to have a society of strong nuclear families.
Yes.
By strong nuclear families, I mean mother, father, and child, biological, not blended family. Mother, father, and child, biological, not one that you come with or not one that I come with, then say, okay, I'm going to insert that one into your life. So as if we agree that as a society we want to build strong nuclear families, meaning that mother, father, the strong nuclear family unit. See? So that is what, if we agree on that, okay, this is what we want to build. Now we have a goal that this is what we want to build. And then the second one, we say we want to raise healthy children who are clever, clean, and then smart, and then and all those things. Those are the things that we have to agree on as a society, as a society. This is what we want to build. And then now comes the bricks. Now the bricks, the hard work. Now the brick and mortar of the okay. Now how do we actually attain the society that we want? The society of strong nuclear families, and then well bonded extended families. And then this is what we want. So now we have an idea of this, and then we know. So now the question is now, how do we attain that? Which is the question that you're asking. That's why I'm saying that it's a very, very important question. Okay, now when we attain that, we say, okay, we will first go to get to the point whereby we have to make sure, okay, the first thing that we make sure is that we have to make sure that to get that society, we breed with the right people. We don't just breed with anyone. We don't just sleep with anyone that we see, that just because he has got a nice tattoo on the chest, or just because he has got a what, just because he has got a long fingernails. So now, yes, you see, so we don't just do that. We have to make sure that we choose the right people. And then that is what we are struggling with. We don't know how to choose the right people. And
I think that is the problem. We do not know how to choose the right people.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So that problem it's also both on the women and the men. So now that means because that's the problem that we have a responsibility to make sure that we both have a responsibility to make sure that problem, we solve that problem. You solve that problem, I also solve that problem, and then we jointly come with the solution to that problem. Okay, we don't know how to do that. For B, I don't know, I think you are probably around 30 or less. And 30. Then for someone, okay, now, how old is B? Okay, let's say we are all...
Trolls are always 30 their whole life.
No, after they freeze 27 and they just freeze and say, how old do I look? I think I'm 27.
I'm as young as I look.
Yes. So once we get to that point, or okay, we understand our responsibility that we don't know. We first admit that we don't know how to choose the right partner. And then now comes, okay, how to choose the right partners, and then who can help us choose the right partners, right?
Okay,
because
wait. So
wait a minute. As USB, even if you are 30, you are still very, very immature in terms of choosing the right partner. You choosing the right partner will actually be you gambling, and then that applies to all the 30-year-olds and less, actually. You will actually have to make a mistake in order to get that. And then those that have succeeded, we're actually lucky in all honesty, because below 30, remember that below 30, you only have about 10-year experience with dealing with the other gender in courtship. That means the person that can actually assist you in this are the elders, your parents, your grandparents, or even the community, or even the community at large. So these are the people that have got a collective experience of knowing the right person. And then they're also impartial, because you could be looking at me and then we're feeling all the tingles, and then those tingles are actually bad, maybe because I've got 6 criminal records and I'm going to jail next week again. And then also, or because I'm lazy, or because I'm just lazy, for example. I'm just a lazy partner.
Honestly, I do not even think our grandparents or the past people would even know how to choose the right partner. I do not even think that is possible. I think all of this, honestly, this is like from my thinking. I do not think my grandmother would know what I want right now, because times change. Everything changes. Time changes. Like my grandmother, the men that they wanted to select then is different from the men that we feel like, as the generation of today, the men we feel like we want to choose now is different from the men that they wanted to choose then. So that's kind of like different. So I do not even think it's a matter of the older generation of the new generation. This is why I put this responsibility on men, because men right now, as a woman, it's kind of like hard for me to say, yo, I think you're the right man for me. Marry me. Let's have kids together. I feel like it's more on you as a man to kind of like come to me and be like, B, I'm gonna sleep with you right now. I want to make kids with you, and I want us to have something together. The problem is right now, I said the problem is that you guys, this is what you guys are doing. You guys are just trying. You guys are not even looking for the right person for yourselves. You guys are just playing too. You guys are playing too much. You guys are just playing too much. You're like, let me go to that pussy. let me hit that and then see the next one and feel how it feels like and then go to the next one. And then while you hit here, you leave a baby here. You hit here and you're not even safe. You move on to the next one. Why do you not safe here? You leave a baby here. You go to the next one, you leave a baby. Guess what happens? The baby that you're leaving, that's going to be a single family. That's what it is. The next baby that you're leaving out there, that's going to be a single family until you go to the fifth family there, to the fifth girl that you choose, like, I like Mishka now. I want to marry Mishka. All the rest is single families. Who solves this? This is men. It is all up to men.
Okay, look. So wait, give Mishka a chance to speak.
So, okay. I said that knowing whatever Putso is on about. What were you saying? You were saying that the first problem is that we don't know how to choose a spouse.
Yes, because
I'm saying that that's the second problem. The first problem is that there's no communication. And I feel that our generation, not so much maybe the younger ones, we are actually quite codependent. So the communication, if Putso wants to go and sleep with 5 girls, why is he dropping seeds if that's not a conversation? There shouldn't be a baby if it was never a conversation between the two of you. So if communication was fixed, then there wouldn't be those half nuclear families. But now us as women are like, oh no, I'm gonna have a baby and I'm gonna keep him with me. I'm gonna, shackle him down because we're so codependent and we're not confident in ourselves and we're not learning from what our mothers did and our grandmothers because they were so submissive. And now we want to do that and we want to be like career woman and we're not going to stay at home and look after kids. Like, I don't know. So I don't think it's a male.
Sorry, Mishka. So are you saying before we even get to have sex, we should kind of like have this conversation as to do we want kids right now or do we not want kids right now? Is this what you're saying?
Guys,
it's like consent. Can I have sex with you? Yes or no? What if there's a baby? Yes or no? How are we going to deal with that? And start from there.
Okay. Let me speak. This way.
Yeah.
Let me speak. Okay, so I agree with Mishka that I think that's also the second issue. We don't know the people that we need to pick, right? But the first issue I disagree with because I think the first issue is the fact that we are not the people that we need to be picked. So we're actually the problems from the get-go. We always
that's what I meant by like us being codependent. Like you didn't solve your own issues, and now you're projecting them onto others.
Yeah. So again, with this whole picking a partner thing, I think a lot of it is the fact that you need to be a partner that can actually be picked to begin with before you want to then go pick another partner. Because if it goes back to this whole work thing. You need to be someone that has a CV or that has experience that's enough for the job before you even go look for the job. Because chances are then that job will then actually come and look for you. But if you're going to keep on looking for a job and you have your own insufficiencies, then they're going to come out at some point, right? So that's the first thing, right? Then the second thing is obviously looking for the other person to make sure that's the right person. Then the crucially and most important thing as well is the fact that if a male, like if a guy and a girl, right, a guy can say, look, fuck it, I'm just going to go and sleep with everyone, right, and I'm going to create kids. And then a woman says, oh, well, look, I'm going to go and sleep with everyone too, right, but I fall pregnant and I have to deal with this thing for 9 months. So therefore, I'll have to be careful about it. Otherwise, I'll just have to be then popping babies all the time, right? Nature decided that. Right? So that's why it's so much easier for a guy to go around and just go popping babies, right? Because they don't have to deal with the 9 months. They don't have to deal with all the shit that goes through that women have to deal with. So now as a woman, if you have such a hard price to pay for falling pregnant, and then you still put all that price on the male, it's like, well, then when you fall pregnant, who's going to take that blame? It's not going to be the male. He's going to just say, oh, I'm going to wait for the 5th person that I'm impregnate and then deal with them. Then the female says, well, I thought that you were going to be my last. And he's going to be like, well, you're not. Now what? I don't have to deal with you. And you have to deal with that. So therefore, it's like, what are men doing? What are men doing? Yeah, we can talk about how many times men need to take responsibility and men have to do this and men have to do that. But they don't have to pay that price. Women have to. So it goes into other conversations of like, if you're so concerned about not having a child, be concerned about that. Don't be concerned about the other person if they want to have a child or not.
How am I supposed to be concerned about not having a child when you...
Wait.
Okay.
So if you, it's like the same thing with the sickness. If I'm sick and you're not sick, are you going to tell me that I should be responsible to not make you sick? It's like, yeah, okay, you can say that. But then as soon as I give you the sickness, it's done. Are you not going to then say, oh, shit, I actually should have protected myself?
Wait. Can I say something? Can I just say something?
Just wait. I'll finish now. Right? So the same thing with like, if you're going to have sex with someone, right, and they say to you, look, I'm HIV positive. Do you say to them, look, you wear the condom? No. You say, I'll make sure that I'm protected so that even if something happens on your side, that won't affect me. So how the fuck is that different to having kids and having sex with a baby? It's like, well, make sure you protect yourself, because whatever happens is that then you are going to bear the brunt of it, and that other person won't. And that's the thing. It's like you want shared responsibility, but the consequences are not shared.
Okay, listen here. This is how this thing works. This is how this thing should work. Me and you are both healthy people. We go and have sex.
You trust us.
As much as we want. Okay, that's fine because we have. But the minute you know you are not healthy. For example, you come to me, you know you are HIV. This is an example. You know you are HIV positive. And you know that for people to have sex and to not get sick, we should both be HIV negative. You know you are HIV positive, and then you come and have sex with me knowing that you are HIV positive and without disclosing that information to me, that is wrong. This is the same thing. This is the same thing as you should first come to me and be like, B, this is my status.
Yes, of course.
We both are agreeing to doing this. We both know what's at stake. This is the same thing as babies. This is the same thing as babies. You come and have sex with me. What happens when two people have sex? We both know the end result of two people having sex is one person both of you guys getting pregnant.
No,
so what do you think when you come and have sex with me without protection? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think I might not get pregnant? And how do you know I might not get pregnant if you don't even know that I am protecting myself? First, before you even have sex with me without a condom, you should know that B is taking protection. You should first find out that B, are you taking protection? Are you protected? Are you not going to get pregnant? This is something that should come out before we even have sex. So for you to come and have sex with me and then expect me to raise the baby by myself when we never even had the conversation of whether, okay, are we not getting pregnant, or are we getting pregnant? No, that's unfair. That's unfair on the woman's side.
Okay, I think my biggest problem with all of this is that you guys it seems as if you guys don't want to do due diligence, and then you want to negotiate with terrorists. That's what you're doing. That's basically what you're doing. You want to negotiate with the terrorists. You as a woman, the guy could be having, you as a woman, if you're going to sleep with a guy, the first thing that you must assume, you must assume that the guy is sick. That's the first thing. Until you have got a proof that the guy is not sick, you must assume that he's sick. He's got HIV.
So meaning I should refuse to sleep with you without a condom.
That you can actually negotiate with the guy who's coming to steal your house, who's coming to break into your house and then steal. Because remember, if a person comes to your house and then it's already, if a person comes to you and wants to steal, that person is no different from a butler that wants to enter your house. So what I'm saying is that you on your side, you must be the one doing the due diligence, making sure that your windows are closed and then your door is locked, because there is no way that you can be able to negotiate with the terrorists. No one has ever been successful in actually negotiating with the terrorists. It always ends badly. So
coming back to my main question, what are you saying? Are you saying that all of this, the single family thing, is dependent on women? Is it women who've got control over
responsible?
Men have got no control over this, or men have got no power over this? It's just women who've got power over it, and it's just women who can control it. Is that what you're saying?
But then we are going in circles. B, because I told you that all people, all the members of the community, all the two people, they've got a responsibility. That was my argument even from the start. That there's a responsibility that you should take. You should make sure that you don't allow the bad guys to breed. That is your responsibility, because the bad guys will always want to breed, and you cannot negotiate with bad guys from against breeding. That's why we have prisons. We have prisons so that we cannot be negotiating with thieves. We can take
maybe then you guys should tell us, how do we see the bad guys as the women? It seems as if we have so many single families. Yeah, but we have so many single families, and the reason is us not being able to see them.
Yes, but then that's exactly where I started. I said that you guys, most women, they don't know how to select mates. That's where I started.
I think that's the problem.
And then I said that we should actually start focusing on on teaching women or not, how do you select mates? And then if we see it's something that they can't do, it should be, if it's something that they can't do, it should be a task that can be delegated to those people who know. That is why before we used to have arranged marriages before. Why? Because I know that Lou.
I miss those days.
Yeah, Lou is my friend, and then Lou knows the principles under which I'm raising my daughter, and then I know the principles under which he's raising his son, and then becomes easier because we share the same values, and then our children can then start their own families, and then they don't have to carry the burden of having to go around choosing their own partners, because they don't even have the experience to see the difference between a hardworking guy and a guy who pretends to be hardworking. And then we as men, I know how he raises. And even if, let's say, a stranger, even if, let's say, you come with a stranger, and then we the men of the family are going to have to be the ones vetting your guy, spending some time with your guy alone, away from you, so that we can be able to see whether this guy is actually fit to be part of our family. Because once this guy has a child with you, he's no longer about you. He's now our in-law. He's now our sbar now. And then now he's now part of our family. And then we have to make sure that the people that become part of our circle are the right people. But then now, ever since the sexual marketplace has been deregulated, women have been told that you are free, you can sleep with everyone, even the guys. And then it was free for all for the guys, because do you know that, okay, traditionally, there was a time whereby, I said this before, there was a time before whereby a girl's womb was worth a lot. You could pay 12 cows to actually marry a girl so that you can be able to have sex and start a family with her. But then right now, I can go now and get to sleep with another girl just by buying chicken licken and one savan. That's how cheap the cost has been. It has been lower.
It has become cheap. I'm there to say that.
So now, do you now see the difference there? Before that, so that's why when you say that our parents should not get involved, because the question is, are you winning? Are you winning with the current status quo? Because they were winning with their current status quo. That's why we were lucky enough to
guys, the question is, what do you guys want us to do? What do you guys want us to do though? Like, honestly, we are here. I feel like okay, there's so many guys out there, especially in South Africa. Oh my gosh. Actually, it's not just in South Africa, but everywhere. Guys are just playing. No one wants to get married. No one wants to get anything serious. Guys now are just like, let me just play around. Let me see. Let me kick it out with you, and then let me see what happens. You know what this does?
Because pussy is cheap.
Look.
It's cheap. It's now worth 12 cows and marriage. It's now worth 2 savannas. That's how cheap it is. You are getting the price of it.
But who made it like this? It's you guys. You made it this way.
Everyone.
It's the female.
Mishka, they're gonna blame us. They're gonna blame us for all of this, and it's not even us.
We blame you for not protecting your womb, because there was a time where your womb was worth 12 cows and more, but then now it's
so
worth
what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to say no to all the guys that come through? Are we supposed to say
until they get married?
I feel like this is what we should be doing. I want all women to say no to all men. That's how much I do not want men. But it is.
Your grandmother did that, so why is it difficult for you to do that? Your grandmother in 1912 did that. Why is it difficult for you to do that? Your grandmother knew that, okay, if you are not going to sleep with me until you talk to my parents and then you marry me and then we start a family. Because they didn't have condoms, they did not have birth control. So every sex was not just for fun. Sex was also, everyone knew that once you have sex, a baby's gonna come, and then someone must take care of that.
I know.
So,
okay, guys, listen.
Why are you guys so easy? Why are you so easy? Why is it so difficult for you to say no to a guy coming with 2 savannas, while your grandmother used to say no to a guy that was promising her so much until he actually marries, and then so that's why I'm saying that. The development of a modern woman has actually been like this. It has not been like
one thing I will tell you, it is tough. It is tough. It is tough on a woman right now because men are placing all the responsibilities on a woman. We kind of like we hold everything on our shoulders right now. Everything that has to go right, it is on a woman's shoulder. Whether kids or whether families are single or not, it is on top of a woman's shoulder. We kind of like have to make all these decisions. Why aren't you guys as the men making these decisions and be like, no, this is what's happening right now. There's so many single families in South Africa. There's so many single families in the world. Like, let's stop this. Let us change everything. Let us marry women. Let us take women and take care of them and their kids. Why can't you guys do that? Why does everything has to be here on us? Like,
so 2 points.
Expect a career criminal to change and all of a sudden become a loving family father. No, you don't do that. The only way you make sure that guy does not breed. And then if he does not breed, he will die out. His genes will die out. You breed with a man who wants to be a father. And then the man who wants to be a father will not just come and then just sleep with you and then leave you with a baby. So you have to know how to find that man. And then you do not have the expertise alone to do that. That's why you need people who know.
Listen.
That's why it has lowered down. Like, really. I mean, for me, I'm not complaining about the current status quo because I don't have to pay 12 cows to sleep with a woman. I know that I can just go.
You guys are like it. That's what it is. You guys are way too lucky. Anyways,
Yeah, look,
let me leave you. Let me leave you guys. Let me leave you to this. Discuss this, and I will hear all about it tomorrow. But I have to go right now.
Before
I
you
have
just two things.
company, so I kind of like have to leave.
Just wait,
I've
just
been
two more
away
things
too
before
long.
you go. Just two
Yeah.
more things before you go. So one of it is that when men say they want to sleep around and shit, right? It's always a problem for women because then they don't know which guy to pick because they're not serious, right? But when a woman does it, it's not a problem, right? Like when you're in your 20s and you're sleeping around with whoever the fuck you're sleeping around with, it's not an issue, right? No, but look, it's not an issue because you want to do it. No, but look, it's not an issue because you want to do it, right? It's not an issue because you want to do it. Whenever you want to sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, it's not an issue because you want to do it. But when a guy does it, it's an issue. Right? Because then it's like a guy.
It's a matter of, I doubt women just sleep around for the sake of sleeping around with people. I doubt that. Honestly, no, honestly.
That's one thing, right? The second thing is the fact that, again, like the responsibilities might want to say, look, responsibilities need to be the same. But at the end of the day, only one party can get pregnant, right? And then has to be with that child for 9 months. So the consequences are not there, right? So when you want the responsibility to be on the man, it's like, okay, you can say that. But ultimately, you fall pregnant. And he and the guy has all the time in the world to fall pregnant. So he doesn't have to get someone pregnant to have his own child. He can have his own child at 40. He has his own, he has his own clock. He can have a child at 50. You don't have that luxury. You only have until 35, 36 to have your own kids, right? That's not something that a guy created. It's just the way that nature is. So when a woman gets to 35 and wants to settle down, and a guy at 35 says,
this is
fuck it, I
how
want to
things
settle
are
down.
supposed to be. This is how things are supposed to be as a guy. The minute you go sleep with a woman, you should be ready to take responsibility for whatever happens. The minute you sleep with me, you are saying to me, listen, baby, I am strong enough, I am protective, I am able to protect you, I am able to provide you, I am able to do this. But the minute you sleep with me, this is what you're saying. This is what you're saying to me. Baby, I'm able to protect you. Baby, I'm able to provide for you. Baby, I'm able to provide for our family that we might have when I sleep with you. That is what it is.
That mentality there is exactly why you'll end up single with 16
No, but that is the right mentality. Any mentality other than that, from a guy or from a woman, that is the wrong mentality. You sleep with me, you come to me and you want to sleep, especially without a condom. Especially without a condom. You come sleep with me, you are saying to me, baby, I am ready to take care of whatever might have, whatever responsibilities that
only thing a guy will tell you is that he's ready to
that might come out of this.
What he's ready to do. We're ready to sleep with you. That's it. That's what we're ready for. Responsible for what?
You guys have taken sex too lightly. Sex is not something to be taken lightly. This is the thing. This is the thing most guys have taken too lightly. Sex is not to be taken too lightly. Sex is not just sex. Sex is more than sex.
We get blamed for rape. Of course we don't fucking take sex lightly. We get blamed for all the rapes. So how are you telling me that you take it
seriously? You only take it seriously when rape is being blamed on you. But sex, whether it is rape or it is not rape, sex is not to be taken lightly.
Look, every sexual act can be classed as rape, which means every sexual act that we get into, we have to take lightly. Have to take seriously if you don't want to be jailed. So of course we take sex fucking lightly. I mean, not likely. Of course, we take sex seriously. Of course, we do that. But we know that we don't. But we know that we don't.
Just say they take sex lightly. They take it as a game. To them, it's a sport. Sex is a sport to them. To us, it is not. Sex is not a sport.
Well, look, it's a sport to both of us until either one of us gets pregnant or one of us ends up in jail because of rape.
Okay. Let's just say me and you have sex. We are not using protection. We both did not discuss that. We do not want kids. The minute I fall pregnant, then Then what? Then what? Who's supposed to take care of this baby? Is it
The
just
one
me
with
as
the
a woman,
one
or
with
you
the
as a
womb,
man
the one
too are supposed to take care of it?
you need to be careful. You see, the one with the womb, when we are having sex here, the one who's going to carry the evidence of sex all around and then be seen or you as the one, that's the one who's going to suffer. That's the one who's going to suffer the most. Should be
Is
the
the
one
one who's
who
supposed to? No,
he's
you guys,
the
no. This is wrong. This is wrong.
wrong guy, because she's gonna suffer. She must not suffer for the wrong guy, because if she suffers for the wrong guy, it's late for her. Because now, but then the guy, you cannot expect the guy. That's like saying that the lion should negotiate with the lion should negotiate with a springbok. No, you don't get that. The one who's gonna get eaten and then show around the evidence of sex and have to bear the pain of carrying something that's living inside her for 9 months is the one who's going to suffer the most. And then that is why she's the one who has to take the biggest responsibility. Then
Guys, before
the time we have now, we used to have a time whereby the people, the community, the elders, they understood, okay, this child cannot be the only one who takes the responsibility alone. Even the child alone, the child understood that, no what, if you see a guy that is playing next to you, you must tell him, or no, he must fuck off. If he does not want to fuck off, he must marry, and then this is the price for that. You see?
Yeah.
But then the nice thing is that now it's nice now. Everyone is free for all now. I mean you can have 5
It's scares. It's scares.
I said, so it is.
And the funny thing about it as well is the fact that most women that will say stuff like you just said now, that, well, we need to make sure that we push every guy away, will say that while they're sleeping in another guy's arms at home. So there's no trust even between you guys. It's like, okay, guys, look, let's band together and make sure guys are not having sex with us. And then everyone does it. And then you go sneak around and have sex with every single guy that everyone else is not having sex with. So there's not even trust.
Right. Listen. I love you guys, but I have to leave right now. Like, honestly, can we take this on another day? Now I really have to leave. It's been too long.
I still take that as an excuse because you didn't finish it. There's so much more. I still take it as an excuse.
Yeah, let's take this another day. Yeah?
Okay.
Great talking to you guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, B.
Mishka the buffer. She has to try to switch it off. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Mishka, what did I tell you?
Hmm?
What did I tell you?
I don't know.
The job description. The funny thing with Mishka is that, like, half of the stuff she wants to say, I agree with them. But it's like it's that honor amongst thieves.
Yeah, but she wanted to agree with us, but then she was at a time where it was like, no, Mom, that won't be. I would be betraying my gender.
I would betray the group.
I'll be betraying my gender here. I have to stick around and then at least take a few punches for. Yeah, but yeah.
I told you, bro. I don't know. I have no idea.
But now I can make sense. Now I can make sense of those posts now. Although this person is actually trolling. He's not serious about this thing. I don't think she would tell her daughter that. So now the posts, all those responses, they now make sense after the engagement of Norma. This person was actually having taking us for a ride.
I actually think she's dead serious. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem, is that she's dead serious.
I know she can't be serious.
I swear my life, she's dead serious.
I don't think that's what I don't think that's what she would advise her daughter.
It is, bro. I swear my life. I believe that.
I don't know.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
No, I don't know.
I know.
I don't think there's anyone who can tell a daughter that. Who can tell a daughter or it's fine. You don't have to worry. The man has to be the one who has to worry. We're not just follow.
Well, look. So, how do you think that other women become like that if they're not told that and they don't actually believe that it is like that?
That's a tough question.
So, I promise you, bro. Like, there's so many things that I read and listen to and hear and get feedback from that I'm just like, that you actually believe this. This is why I said that mentality is the exact same reason what gets you into the position that you're trying to avoid.
Because you know what that mentality is like. That mentality is like, I will sleep in this house, and then I won't lock the doors, and then I will leave the windows open, and then I will just sleep because I didn't do anything wrong and I'm innocent. And then
don't come rob me.
Yeah, don't come rob me. And if you come here, tell me you're okay. I'm here to just watch over you and then to make sure everything is gonna be nice. I'm gonna be here.
That's exactly that. That's exactly that. If you're gonna do that, tell me. Hey, look, I'm gonna come through the burglar bars in the kitchen. The one that you left unscrewed.
Fine. And then you are happy and everything's right and everything's right. That's exactly that is the mentality. And then now that as much as I still believe that she was trolling, she was joking. The sad part is when you bring the facts that this is what is happening out there. That is why we are where we are now. It's because it's happening out there. Whether she's trolling, whether she's not trolling, the fact is that it is there. And then what are you gonna do about it? Like what are you gonna do about that? So that
this also ties in with the other conversation we were having the other night about why our people of color, our peers of color, can't get anything right, is because we internalize this way of being, and we unable to think for ourselves, basically. And as much as you know that this is not gonna work, it's like, well, but my mom did it, my aunt did it, and I don't have to take responsibility, so I'm also gonna do it. Like, because everything is, so I would basically like disagree with everything she was saying. Like, I honestly feel like the whole sex situation, both of you are to blame.
Yes.
Like, it's like, that's why it's like, it's just this, respect yourself enough so that you can protect yourself. Like, he doesn't want to wear a condom, that's his thing. I don't want the consequences, and I love myself enough to not put myself through that. So I'm gonna do what I need to do. Like,
yes.
Does that not make sense though?
No, it does make sense.
I don't know how it doesn't make sense. It's the same thing as it's like this guy needs to take responsibility to tell me that he's sick. But if he doesn't, and you're both sick, for sure he's gonna go to jail because of attempted murder. But you'll still be sick. So it's like, where do you want to draw the line? Like, where do you want to take the responsibility? Just like you're going to be pregnant. Yeah, but you'll still be not pregnant. And you're going to be the one that takes all the blame. So it's like you can say the responsibilities on both of you, but the consequences aren't, and that's where the difference comes in. So when you can't even make sense of that, it's like, well, why do you think then that there's a lot of single families? It's because there's just that understanding. Exactly what you said now. Look, come and rob me, I'll leave everything open, but when you do come, tell me, you have the responsibility to tell me that you're going to come and rob me. And then make sure that whatever you take is things that I only accept that you take.
Yes, no, it's like no. In fact, it's not even about robbing, because the problem is that they actually want to deny the fact that the guy can come with malicious intent. So that is the problem that I have, is that they want to deny the fact, the possibility that a guy can come with malicious intent, because that's what is happening. Because in most cases, guys, when guys go to sleep with women, they're not necessarily thinking about for example, to get them pregnant. It's about sex. It's about them. Okay, I just wanna bust a nut. But then now the problem is that the consequences of busting a nut, they don't affect the guy. The consequences of that only affect who? Only affect the woman directly. Why? Again, there was a time whereby those used to affect the guy, because people they were living in a community, and then it was not easy for you to do something that wrong and then get away with it. So the community was there to make sure that you actually pay for that. But then right now it becomes more difficult, because you can meet a guy from the airport that comes from wherever, Eastern Europe, tomorrow, the following day, and then you want to then have sex with that person you don't know, and then next week their ticket they have to get back on their flight again. So that is how reckless we have been as a society about this thing. That's why, for example, if you go to especially this happens a lot in the trucking industry. It happens a lot in the trucking industry and construction industry, to the point whereby it has even been included in the construction budgets, and then even in the law, in the health and safety law, the health and safety documents. There has to be a provision, a sex education, and then provision for the condoms, and then the education. Because what happens is that with the trucking guys, they will go to another country, then go get there, and then date whoever they're dating, they leave babies there, and then come to why? Because it is unfair. I understand that it is extremely unfair, but then it's actually nature itself. It's unfair. It is extremely unfair that the ones who have to bear the biggest consequences of sex are women. It is extremely unfair. But then that is not what we can change. We can't change that. We have to play by the rules that we have. By the rules. I mean, it's also unfair even in a soccer game that a goalkeeper.
But even that, it's the biggest consequences of falling pregnant are women,
yes,
not of sex. Because in sickness, it's not women. It depends whoever has the sickness.
Yes. You see, so that is the problem.
For both people. Yeah.
So it's it's something that is very, but then that also explains our state as the people of color, and why we are where we are now. It explains that is exactly the mentality that we have internalized. We have internalized while we actually had the chance to actually we can still weed that mentality out. But then we have internalized in such a way that we also, I also think, people always speak of Africa as a poor continent. Well, but then for South Africa in particular, I do not think that South Africa is that the amount of welfare that this country affords its people. It's just way too much. That is why you have people who think like that, because right now, even people, when they have sex, they know that they know that the consequences of that, government is gonna take care of of the birth process, and then once the child is born, government is gonna give me money, and then once that, then I'm gonna get free medical care, and then from there, then the child's gonna go to a free school, and then after the free school, it's gonna be free university, and then after free university, if they don't get, then there's just gonna be. So we have got
He'll
lots
jump to
and lots.
CEO because he's black.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when it's a job, when they get to the job, then
Well, when I get into a job, then I'm just gonna be the first black CEO. I'm gonna be the first black CEO. If I become the first black CEO, and then I see okay, there's another company that side, and then it has been having lots and lots of white CEOs, and I'm just gonna go there, and then after I get in, then I'm gonna pull out my card, my South African card. And then want to be the first CEO under 30, the first CEO under 30. That's why we are so focused on them. If you can see, it's actually, I actually believe that thing actually reduces us to the very same thing that we did not want to be called. Like it reduces us to animals. This thing of the first, of wanting to be the first. I want to be the first black woman, the first black what, the first black what, the first black what. It actually makes, because the thing is that once these people become the first blacks, they want to be the only people in that position because it's nice. Exactly. They are getting their attention. You want to be the first black pilot, and then once they are the first black pilot, they want to be the only black pilot. And then from there, and then when another one comes in, so I feel like it's actually we are way too late, and we are way past. We should be way past that stage whereby we actually celebrate things like being the first black what. I think it's demeaning, and then I don't appreciate it. If you did it, you did it, and then you should thank yourself. It's not because you are black, it's because you probably worked hard and then you deserve it. And then if we are to say to link things to color in that way, then we should not blame other people for even being racist toward us, because I mean we are putting the black card everywhere we go. So it's not good. It's not good. The big book.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, Mishka, anything to say?
Yeah.
I disagree with everything she said.
Because, but then the thing is that I think again, as I said, the saddest thing is that whether she was joking, whether she was not joking, it is the reality.
Yeah.
Whether it was a joke, whether it was not, it's out there. People, there's another person who's actually living the same thing.
If it's not another million.
Yes, exactly. Because I think the problem that we seem to underestimate at the moment is that that's why I actually share that is the importance of a nuclear family, the importance of having proper nuclear families with people who are at a good mental state and an understanding.
But how do you do that when it just only takes one person that's going to be flawed to make 3 or 4 kids, and they're going to be flawed, and it keeps going and it keeps going. Because again, like I said, it's not like it takes one person to think that, look, you need to tell me that when you're going to come and rob me, right? Yeah. For that person to then procreate 4 other people that are going to say that, to then procreate 16 and then 16 to 166 to, like, how do you then build it? It's almost as if, I also feel sometimes, it's almost as if people like that are meant to be there as the buffer to know that you're actually doing something right. If there is something wrong, you know you're doing something right. Because it's like we would never get to a point like this if there wasn't wrong people. If there wasn't people that were going to think very differently. Yeah,
Lou, you are right there. But then understand one thing. if you have got the cornfields, if you have got like cornfields, obviously every year there's always gonna be the corn that does not grow up to the standard, that becomes the substandard. But you don't want the entire field to be a substandard corn.
Mm-hmm.
You want the most. That's why I always say that don't give the bad guys, don't give the irresponsible guys, don't give the irresponsible guys the breeding rights. That means these people should we should actually weed them out. We should actually keep them to a minimal. Other races are doing that. What's different? What's difficult with us doing that? It's not like this problem. It's not like this problem is happening all across. There are other races who are actually getting this thing right, making sure that they actually make sure that the people are breeding with the right people. Sorry for using the word breeding, but then I think I have to be that crude, so that at least we understand that we are not that special, you see, because that's what happens. If you have got a cornfield, you don't want the entire thing to be substandard. You want a little bit to be substandard. There will always be the mutants, and then the ones that are not malnourished there by the edges, and then the rocket. But then we don't want the entire system to be like that. And then how do you do that? You actually weed the bad ones out. You see, the same thing that I say that the ladies should do, should make sure that they don't let the bad guys breed. In the same way, the guys should also make sure that they don't select bad mothers for their children. Mothers who have got bad values. Mothers, for example, who are going to teach them, or you know what, it's fine, you can go there, do whatever you want. You have no responsibility. So those are the things that both sides have a responsibility to show, to make sure. And then if people can consistently, the things that I'm talking about, it's not like I'm the first one. They have been done before. It's not like I'm the first one to say this thing. They have been done before. They are being practiced now by other races. They are being practiced now by a normal farmer that is breeding cattle. He knows, okay, if this one gave a mutant, and then a mutant, a white calf, then they're gonna take the white calf and then put it on the other side, and then keep the black ones until so that he can improve the genetics and the quality of that one, so that it can be the best that it can be. You won't mix that one with the substandard, and then you don't mix that one with then you do that. It's a basic natural selection. It's a basic natural selection. Just applying the biological law that has existed long before we even existed. Okay, this is what happened, and then now let's for example make an example. Let's say that all the guys that are in prison. Let's say that, for example, the guys that are in prison, well, they may be innocent people, but then let's assume that all the guys that are in prison are bad people. And then let's say now that they are bad people, we don't let those people breed with the people who are good people. So now, over time, over 25 years, it takes only about 3 generations. That's going to be that's about 90 years or 80 something years. So then from there, you've already gotten rid of that, and then now you can raise a society based on certain values, which are the good values. You can call them the good values. So it's
They're going to be better than those values. They're going to be better than those values, but they'll still have bad values compared to the new values.
Yes, no. Okay, what I'm saying is that those ones we are still going to have. It's not like after we weed them out, we are not going to have the mutants. We are still going to have mutants. We are still going to have criminals that are left. But then it's our responsibility to make sure that the bigger part of the society is not a society it's not a society of criminals. Like for example, what is happening with the ruling party at the moment? For example, they have gotten to a point whereby almost everyone is a criminal. and then only a few guys, only a few, 3 or 4 guys are actually good guys who have dedicated themselves into doing things the right way. And then we don't want to get to that point as a society, because if once you get to that point as a society, then it's late. It's really, really late. There's nothing. From there, it's just degeneration. There's nothing that you can harvest from a society like that. That's why even now, I mean, you know that the country is corrupt right from the top. The government structures are corrupt right from the top up to the cop. That's going to give you. That's going to accept you giving him 10 rand for driving with a car that has got a license that expired maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and then that is not even roadworthy or what, you see. So that is what we have gotten. Of course, every time you go to the streets, there will always be a car that is korokoro, that is roadworthy. But then you don't want the entire cars in the streets to be not roadworthy, you see. So there are things that you have to do in order to make sure that.
Just wait, I want to add something quickly.
Yeah, okay.
It's gonna be funny.
Yes. So you understand that. So it's like it just can't be. We really need to understand that it's within our hands. But then as long as we think that no, it's Mishka who should take responsibility, and Mishka think it's Poto who should take a responsibility, and then from there we are just gonna point fingers. At the end of the day, you're gonna do the very same mistakes that we are not supposed to be doing. And then from there, next time, then we are raising a generation that has those mistakes as values, which is what is happening right now. From the conversation that we had with B, is that you can see Roque, the conversation that she was having, even though she might be trolling, but then what she was saying is actually the values. It's actually what people are valuing. It's actually what that is why we've got all this blame game, blame everyone, blame everything except yourself. So it has now become a culture. But then just because it became a culture does not mean that it cannot be reversed, or we cannot adopt a new culture. You see. Yeah. But then to adopt a new culture, we need to accept the fact that we have to take a responsibility. We have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to make sure that I don't go around breeding with a woman who's going to leave my child in a hot car during the day, and then I have to. You see, I have that responsibility too. I have to have a responsibility to make sure that I'm not going to have a child with a woman that will be on drugs. You see, that will be on drugs for the most of your life. You see, that is the responsibility I have to make sure. You see, and then she also have to make sure that on her side she accepts the responsibility that she cannot just, for example, sleep with a guy who's also a druggie as well, or who's busy then stabbing people all around her, because that's a problem. And then from there, then that means that we can now agree, okay, these are the values that we want to, these are the values that we have. We want to raise our children in this way, and then from there, after that, then we know that the children are likely to be healthy. Children that are raised by healthy parents, mentally healthy parents, are likely to be healthy and then do well in life. But then children that are raised by parents that are busy swearing, fighting, doing all those sorts of things, they aren't likely to do that. Yes, there will be one mutant that will come and say, oh, now I was raised by an abusive parents, but I came out right. Okay, just because you came out right, just because you are an exception does not mean that the rule is different. The rule is still the same. It means that for a child to be a good child, he has to be raised by good parents, by good parents that are actively participating in making sure that the child becomes a worthy human being. You see, so that's what happens. But then if we are still pointing the blame, right, you should do this, and then you say, okay, men should be the ones doing, and then women should be the ones doing. Then I'm telling you, 10 years from now, we'll be having that as gospel. It will be the new way of life. That's just what they're gonna say. And then from there, who wins? Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, the people, whoever wins in what is happening in the black society, is everybody but not the blacks. Because if, for example, look at how the low marriage rates that are happening in the black society means that there has to be 2 houses for a household that could have been 1 household. That means now I have to buy my own house.
Just wait, can I just request quickly? So I'm gonna end this live, right? And then I'm gonna start another one just so Sian can be part of it. I don't know why it's not accepting.
Okay.
All right, then just you'll finish off your thoughts, and I'm pretty sure Mishka has a lot more to say as well, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So as I was saying,
Just wait, I'm gonna end this live, and then I'm gonna.
You said finish off your thoughts. That's why.
Yeah.
No, I said I will end this live, and then I'll start another one. Then you can finish off the start, just so Sian can be part of it.
Okay, no, it's fine.
I'm not moving the goalpost. Okay.
Okay. That one does not move goalposts. She creates new ones. she leaves those ones there and then creates new ones here. And then while you are still trying to score to those, she
creates another game.
You don't know whether it's your own goal or you're scoring against.
Okay, I'll check you guys now.
Okay.